What's up, everybody? My name is Michael. We're stuck in traffic here, and it's a beautiful, cloudy day. I am talking about crypto. It's been a while since we're talking about crypto, but I really wanted to discuss this case. One of the first cases, a trial regarding NFTs, where the government is going after a 45-year-old man. Very interesting name, by the way. Waylon Wilcox. I've never heard of that, the first name. Wilcox I've heard, but Waylon, very interesting. So he is facing charges, 6 years in prison for his charges of tax evasion. There's one thing you can't mess around with, and unfortunately a lot of cryptocurrency charges are going to be, ooh, look at that. That's actually interesting. We're just chilling here. Look at that, Swedish plates. That was overseas program there for Volvo, so that's cool. By the way, we're no longer selling Volvo. If you're interested in car content, check out my new channel regarding Aston Martin. We're selling Aston Martin, Maseratis. We've had a couple Ferraris, looking at a Bentley yesterday as a trade-in for a client. So if you like exotic cars, we're going to have some cool stuff on that channel. Check it out. But Waylon Wilcox could afford everything. Ferraris, Bentleys, Paganis, because he is facing 6 years in prison for underreporting $13 million of income. Okay, small little sum there, right? Between 2021 and 2022, he sold, I believe it was 97 NFTs. And that's a hefty sum, 13 million for 97 NFTs. Those must have been some big boys over there, the cryptopunks, right? So, no, I'm serious. Like, that is a crypto whale right there, DeFi NFT whale. Now, a lot of people are wondering, how did this happen? It is possible maybe he withdrew and had a bunch of money, millions of dollars go right into his bank account, and the bank reported it as sketchy because it's cryptocurrency related, and then the government got a little interested because they realized, oh, hello, what's this? Maybe the guy who had a normal job and was reporting that, or I don't know how he made his money, because $13 million is a lot. Maybe he was a crypto millionaire. Maybe he came from a wealthy family. Who knows? But let's say most likely he has a normal job and probably paying taxes on that. But cryptocurrency, whatever. It is what it is. So what is your opinion on this? My opinion, you already know, I think it's a scam. I think the government is trying to scam us. They're trying to no risk, right? Investing. No risk investing. If something doesn't go right, well, hey, here's $3,000. Like in my case, I lost 6 figures, low 6 figures, but I lost 6 figures of cryptocurrency. And ever since then, I'm allowed to take, I don't know, $3,500 off my taxes each year because I lost a bunch of money. So that's great, but I don't care about that if you're already taxing me on so many things. You've got sales tax. I live in one of the highest tax states, Illinois, income tax, right? You have property tax. You have not only state tax, but you have federal taxes. I mean, it just sucks that you have so many fees and taxes for, obviously we're not the highest tax nation on the planet. There's plenty more. There's way worse cases, and I would never want to live in France or any of those super high taxed nations where it's like you lose 50% of your income right there. But anything over 10% is just greed, in my opinion, especially when it's like 20, 30%, etc. And a lot of people are going to say, well, we need this to survive. Okay, well, I'm in Illinois, where I'll give you a great example. My taxes should go towards paying for schools and the roads and, a whole bunch of other things. Well, tell me this. Why is there construction on the roads constantly and there's delays in traffic? And if the construction would be so great that, all potholes are taken care of, everything's perfect, I wouldn't be so upset. But the fact that I've went through 3 tires the past year and 5 tires over the past 2-3 years, and I've swerved to avoid these giant crater potholes almost every single day on different highways, different roads. That's just one example of mismanagement, where we all know Chicago's pretty corrupt. But guys, these taxes, not every single penny is going exactly where you think it's going. especially with recent news in Washington, D.C., where certain billions and billions of funds might have been misappropriated, or they were just lost mysteriously or something like that. We all know every single nation on the planet, it's true, there is a whole ton of money that is just unaccounted for. And some of it is lining politicians' pockets, but some of it is, human error or greed or corruption or who knows what. But I do know this. There's smaller nations that have very little taxes. And yes, those are smaller nations, But there's nations that are relying more on becoming like a corporation, selling products, selling services, selling what they can, and having lower taxes. And I prefer that. I'm not saying no taxes. I get it. We need taxes. That's fine. Although realistically, I think some nations, at least on this planet, it's not going to be a switch overnight thing, but some nations on this planet would be able to run on a no tax system, provided they were treated like a corporation. Now, it would take a very long time for the switch to happen, but I do believe that America could have lower taxes. And I don't know, it's a very complex issue. I'll leave that to the experts. But what I do know is it's not working. It hasn't been working. It sucks living paycheck to paycheck and having so much money go straight to taxes. And especially with cryptocurrency, you're trying to get out. You're trying to make a living for yourself. And yeah, this is a crazy case where it's $13 million. But there's so many smaller cases where someone has $25,000, $50,000, their life savings. And they finally make it a little bit, right? And they're like so excited. Woohoo, we're making money. We're going to get out of poverty. We're not going to have to live paycheck to paycheck, go to this terrible job that I hate, right? And then the government, U.S. Uncle Sam comes in and says, you know what? Give me 20%. Give me 25. Capital gains. Here we come, baby. Woohoo! And it's like, okay, well, I'm not so happy about that, I pay my taxes. I am a responsible Class A citizen, I guess you could say. And I've been working, but it sucks living paycheck to paycheck. And, I don't see where my taxes are going to. Yes, certain things, okay, that's great. But I don't know, man. The healthcare system sucks in America. The food system sucks in America. Schooling system and education, everything, it's just, I'm not happy with a lot of things. And I lived in Europe, so I've seen the other side. And yes, they have higher taxes over there, but at least you can see the potential for that. When you pay high taxes here, and then you have to pay hundreds of dollars per month for inflated costs and hundreds of dollars in insurance costs and health insurance and just crazy stuff, higher gasoline prices. I mean, it's just like, what is going on here, man? So anyways, I'm on the side of Waylon Wilcox. I hope he doesn't get 6 years in prison. Honestly, if he knew the government was on his tail, probably should have booked it out from America, moved to Europe, find a nice, safe nation from American taxes, such as Russia, and that's it. I love America. I'm a proud American, but there's certain things I don't like about my country, and it just sucks whenever you see plenty of these cryptocurrency news stories where someone loses money, and not only loses money, but is facing losing their freedom, losing years and years of their life for something where it's like, I don't think this is an egregious crime. I really don't. If someone's scamming, poor grannies out of their money, yeah, okay, lock them up. If someone's doing really heinous, terrible things, hurting a bunch of other people, I get it. But who is this hurting? Seriously, who is this guy hurting? He's hurting the U.S. government's pockets where, I'm sorry, but that $3 million that he, I don't know, back taxes or whatever, now he's got plenty of crazy fees. That $3 million isn't going to do anything, right? It's, it's billions and billions, and we're talking about trillions in the deficit. I mean, it's just insane. To give you an idea, we collected $4.92 trillion in taxes and revenue, and there's a deficit of over $1 trillion because it was like 6.74 that we owed or whatever. So that's just insane. And yes, if they raise the taxes on every single citizen, it would lower the deficit for maybe 1 year, and then a bunch of people would move out of the country. But we'd still not make up for that. It's such a huge deficit. There's so many weird areas of spending that it's such a complex problem because we're not talking about, millions or billions. We're talking about trillions of dollars and a problem that's been going on for decades and is only getting worse. And that's why it's not like, one politician can fix it. No, this is huge. This is crazy. And we don't know what's going to happen. But I do know that trying to collect a little bit of crypto money here and there, well, there's better ways to do it than this. Now, is the guy in the wrong? Technically, yes, he should have reported it. But at the end of the day, there's also countries where there is no capital gains trading. There is nothing you have to worry about regarding cryptocurrency. The regulations are super fair. And it's so much easier to start up a cryptocurrency company abroad. So here's something. If you're big into cryptocurrency, that's why you see a lot of these influencers and cryptocurrency professionals and companies move abroad. And you might like it abroad, depending on which country you choose. There's plenty of bad countries. There's plenty of great options, and you can change your entire life. So that's why I honestly am not going to, I love my country, but I'm also a Polish citizen. I have the right to become an Australian citizen. I may move to Australia. I don't know. I want to explore the world, and I'm definitely not staying here. 100%. I'm not happy, and I miss Europe, to be honest. And crypto regulation is a small factor, but it is a factor there. And it's definitely going to be a much larger factor in the future where I will have money. I will be investing, and I want to live in a place where I know if they tax me, it's not that much regarding cryptocurrency. I get certain areas of life, okay, but it feels like you're getting screwed on every single end, right? You collect money from your job, you get taxed multiple ways. You have federal taxes, state taxes, Medicare. There's like another one, I forget what it is. So you get $100,000, and I don't know, let's just say the example is 25% of that is taxed. I don't know the actual numbers because it varies depending on which state you're from, but just based off of my taxes, I know it's like 20-something%, and I'm not at 100. I'm way lower than that, but it's a crazy amount, right? And then you have your taxes for when you're purchasing something. You go and purchase food, you go and purchase gasoline. Obviously, certain things like gas and cigarettes and whatever, they're going to be taxed higher. But there's going to be certain things that are like you're purchasing a car, depending on where you're at. If you're in the city of Chicago, that's 9.25% taxes. If you're in Cook County, like I am, it's 8.25% taxes. There's a lot of things that are anywhere from 1 to 10%. So let's just say an average of, 6-7% additionally for when you're doing your groceries and buying clothing and paying a bunch of stuff, right? So then if you have a property, you get taxed on the property. The property is never fully yours because if you lost money, let's say you purchased a property for $500,000 and then you lost all your money, and you had to find a low-paying job, and you were just able to pay the utilities and food and all that, but you weren't able to pay the taxes, eventually they'd take your property, they'd put a lien on it. So it's never really truly yours, which sucks. Then there's other fees where if you just get into the nitty-gritty of it, it's just so unfair. So anyways, Waylon Wilcox actually had a bunch of CryptoPunks he was selling, 21, 22, 23, he underreported his taxes. He did pay taxes, but he underreported it by millions, and he pled guilty. So hopefully he has a good lawyer. He's able to get out of it. We'll see. He's still going to have to pay money back in restitution and whatnot and fees. And it's like, okay, well, if you don't pay your taxes, but eventually you have to because you don't want to go to prison, they're going to charge you way more. They're going to have fines, and then you have to pay your lawyer fines as well. It's like, oh my God, this system is just, it's out to get you. Now, is the government important? Yes, in certain facets. Obviously, we don't want chaos, but obviously being someone who's very into cryptocurrency and very pro-freedom, I see a lot of people agreeing whenever I'm reading about similar cases. We in cryptocurrency are against this unfair treatment. We just want to live normal lives. That's it. We want to be able to live normal lives, have a great time, be happy, and have some money, right? And it sucks because we're just losing money. We're losing money. And where's it going? There's still a deficit. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one, I guess. Pretty exciting. So anyways, it's a little bit of a rough start at Aston Martin right now. We're not making a whole bunch of money, but I expected that. I'm making the same as I was at FedEx. So that's fine as long as I was making the same. Now I'm negative paycheck to paycheck right now, but we did have some sales last week. I don't know how much I made. I'm excited to see. Hopefully it's a little bit more than draw, because I don't want to be making minimum wage, but we'll see. Anyways, I got this book today because my wife wanted me to buy some books, and I got this book, Hidden Potential for Greatness, right? So I'm pretty excited. We're gonna read it. We went to Evanston, my favorite place. Gonna get some nice gelato, walk across the beach. You know, we've been losing some weight recently, so I'm excited. Summer's coming. We have to become a better man, and I just want to have some super positive content, hopefully pretty soon here. So just let us know any ideas you may have for videos. Let me know. Why us? Why did I say us? There's no production company. It's just me, obviously. You can tell. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. All right, we're celebrating some good old Frio gelato at the Evanston Beach. Man, look at those clouds. Look at the waves. We got Northwestern in the back. I always love this beach. I really want to move to Evanston. I've lived in Evanston before, only for a summer, and it was great. We are relaxing. Oh, look at that. That's an epic view. If you went on the other side, Chicago's there, the city, but oh wow, that's beautiful. Summer's around the corner, baby. Sunset's just around the corner. Look at that. Man, I love it. And just a short walk from the beach. You can see already around the corner, peeking out, entire city. Looks good.